Good morning, this is Tom, Negotiating with Jesus. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. GDC. You gotta play, so first you gotta be able to change your fingers without struggling. So you practice. So songs are great, but you gotta get your fingers to cooperate. Come on, fingers. Come on now, get to that C. G, D, C. And you tap your foot. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got to get your hands to cooperate. And as you develop, you start finding that some things are easier to do without thinking about them. Strumming, you can do that on your leg when you're sitting in the office, kind of just you got to do your office work, but you can kind of take a pick with you, scratch your leg. It's just moving your hand like it's a clock. It never goes out of time. I always have my thumb hanging out on the top. I like to use it to mute strings that I'm not using. I use the back of my fingers if I need to. You can use your ring finger to mute. You can use any finger. Your fingers can mute as well as you're going to hold down the string. But I am only muting on the C and the D. My thumb is going to mute out the E string, which I do not use. I like doing chords in a way that makes it easy to switch. So I do a G flipped around from, the beginner G. Beginners learn that's fine. But eventually you'll find there are other ways of holding the same chord. This way I mute out the B. I did do my pentatonic scale. Then we're going to strum a little. This is 5. I did 4 in each position. Position 1, position 2, position 3. I need to do that and more. To become more advanced, I have to do exercises. If you don't do exercises, you won't get big. That's from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Pinky, got to get off the bench and play once in a while. Now, I watched a video yesterday that said E minor, the key of G, which we're going to be playing in. Is a favorite guitar key. So G, C, and D. That is like, it rules the universe of guitar, G, C, and D. And I don't care if people want to be fancy boys and want to play in the key of C sharp. That's great. I am not afraid to use chords on the end of the neck. They are great. The key of G is fantastic. But the reason it's a favorite is because it has this the great connected first and third fingers are the champions of guitar playing. These fingers are the champions. This guy, We want him to sit on the bench a lot, but he's got to be ready to play. So when I do my exercise every day, between positions, I do the key of C, pentatonic. I do the key of C, and I do on the strings as well. And if it's a four, it's a stretch of all 4 fingers, 3 frets, 4 frets, whatever. I make sure pinky plays. You don't sit on the bench. So, the key of G, which we're playing in. Knock, knock, knockin' on, whoops. A knock, knock, knockin' on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knockin' on heaven's door. So I'm playing my chords, holding the D and the G, and I'm just going to leave them there until I come to the D, and I'll lift. Notice this finger never moves. You find ways to do things easy. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Key of G. So apparently the key of G, which is the same as E minor, because E, F, G, E is two steps down. It's the 6th of G. You'll find the shapes that I practice, the scales, fit with this key of G or E minor. So, my point was today I was just going to play a simple chord progression. You got to do to write songs. Then I'll quickly go over a little bit of a song. I'll just tell you lyrics. So I wrote lyrics. I think writing lyrics that are interesting is going to be a key to your success playing guitar. I think you can write your own lyrics and you don't have to do cover songs. Covers are great. It takes you into a place where you feel the music. I want you to be a content creator though. So a story about John the Baptist. I called it Back with John. I don't know why, it just came out that way. A lot of creativity, just like when you're talking to somebody, it just comes out. Maybe you remember something you want to tell somebody, but this communication, the hard problem of consciousness, whatever your brain is, it has, just like your heart, it beats without you making an effort. When you talk to people, consciousness streams out of you and you can connect and talk about apple pie and think, you can even imagine the taste of apple pie. It's so strange. We are the strangest creature that there ever was. My point being, tell stories. Work on, yesterday I said do a haiku. But I told a story about John the Baptist, chapter 3 in the book of Mark. You meet John the Baptist. He's this crazy prophet yelling in the wilderness, hey, you guys better straighten up. He's yelling in the wilderness where no one is. He's just yelling, not on a street corner in New York City, yelling the end is near, but he's doing that prophetic thing. The end is near. The time is coming right now to repent. Make a straight path for the king. And in Matthew, first you hear about the Christmas story, a baby is born. Then you hear about a genealogy. Turns out he's from the line of King David. Then you hear about a man, chapter 3, a man yelling in the wilderness. It's John the Baptist. So the song kind of came to me, and just a little turn of phrase, up in the mountain where you wouldn't walk alone, up in the mountains where you wouldn't walk alone, on the bank of the river lives a lonely soul. Key of E minor, which is that pentatonic scale that is slid down. So E minor, G. On the mountain where you wouldn't walk alone, by the bank of the river lives a lonely soul. He got a message. Don't you call him liar. Take a dip in the water, people catching fire. So I wrote about John the Baptist, and you write little phrases that are fun to you. Who cares if anyone else likes them? I want you to be a creator. I don't care if you don't make American Idol. I will never make it on American Idol. I don't care. I made it in my little world because I wrote songs and it was fun. And if it's just for me, good enough. You got a message, don't you call them liar, take a dip in the water, people catch fire. So many are coming, what do they want to hear? They walk away different, or they change by faith or fear. And then I go into the chorus. My songs are always going to be something like the traditional rock format of verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and then I end it. Back with John, I'll do the songs sometime. And in the meantime, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. You got to get your fingers to cooperate. You got to get a sense of rhythm that you don't have to think about it because you keep doing it over and over. Exercises. You got to get to know the neck, the notes. We'll keep working every day. Bye-bye.